My name is Bill Haase. I'm the Senior Vice President of the National Baseball Hall of Fame here in Cooperstown, New York. I joined the Marine Corps in 1963. I served at the 1st Marine Division headquarters at Camp Pendleton. I then transferred to the 7th Marine Regiment as the 7th Marines were preparing to leave Camp Pendleton to go to Vietnam in 1965. The 7th Marines were the first Marine regiment or 1st Marine unit to leave the continental United States to go to Vietnam. The 3rd Marine Division from Okinawa was already in country when we arrived, and also the 1st Marine Brigade, which originally was stationed in Hawaii. We went to Chu Lai, and we actually did a wet net landing in Chu Lai, no opposition, but probably one of the first or few of the Vietnam War. With the 7th Marine Regiment, we were barely in country, and within a couple of days, Operation Starlight, which was the very first major operation of the Vietnam War, initiated in August of 1965. Operation Utah, Harvest Moon, Operation Piranha. There are so many that we participated in that I don't know that I could list each and every one of them. I became the club auditor for the Detroit Tigers in 1975, then became the next year the business manager for the ball club, and a couple of years later became the vice president of operations. And then eventually, my last 9 years, I was the executive vice president and chief operating officer of the Tigers. So 18 years with the Detroit Tiger organization. And then I was off on my own for a while. I survived one ownership change, but not the next. And but still stayed in the game of baseball. And ultimately came to Cooperstown in 2000. It's been a great fit for me, and I think it's a mutual fit because the Hall never really had somebody with the amount of baseball history and background and experience working here at the Hall prior to me coming. And of course, I've been fortunate to be part of a World's Championship team, so I've always been teased that I'm the only one that's ever had a World Series ring on his finger here. So that's kind of neat. But I brought a lot of that acumen, a lot of that expertise with me to the Hall. It's like I've mentioned many times, I'm not the brightest star in the sky, but I'm not the dullest either. What I do bring is experience, and you can't beat that. And I think my military background and my experience in the Marine Corps and with the American Legion has been fantastic in allowing me to guide not only myself, but apply what I've learned through the military to my everyday work habits. I first joined the American Legion in Michigan, and the one thing I've always wanted to do is be able to give back, and I've always felt bad that I couldn't because my career has been, one that absorbed a lot of my time. But when I came here to Cooperstown, I was able to transfer my membership here and become a part of the organization. And because things are so small and close here, I have been able to be more active in the Legion program. I've known an awful lot about American Legion baseball prior to coming because of my baseball history and career, but never have been able to be attached to it. And I didn't realize how close the Hall of Fame and the American Legion were, because the relationship between the two goes back to 1947, when George Rulon and I'm trying to remember the director here at the time, connected and decided that there was such a nice fit between baseball and the American Legion baseball program that they started to honor the American Legion Player of the Year here. And the first year that happened was 1947. And that's continued even up through 2013 so far. And that's quite a nice connection. And so when I realized the history of the program and everything, Jim Quinlan, who was then the director of the National Baseball Program for the American Legion, he and I connected, and of course we had a little kinship to start with because we were both Marines, and but more so American Legion involved, and he invited me to come to the American Legion World Series and be a part of the national staff in 2003, and I've been doing it ever since. This is Bob Feller's plaque, and Bob not only served in the Navy during World War II, but he also was the first Major League player that played Legion baseball and was inducted to the National Baseball Hall of Fame, and that was in 1962. 25% of our Hall of Famers here have played American Legion baseball, so it's quite a connection. But at the level that the American Legion program is, it's not just about baseball. It's about building character. It's about creating building blocks for the future, so that as young people move on and mature and move on in their lives, they have something that gives them a foundation for the better part of life. I believe that each and every one of us has a level of success that we reach in our careers, and I feel I've been fortunate to be a part of this game as long as I have been, and I've reached a lot of personal success, but the most important thing, if you're really going to be successful, is to take that and give it back some way. And that's what I intend to do when I retire, which I'm going to do here at the end of the year. But to me, I call it Independence Day, not retirement. Now I can go off and do things that I want to do, when I want to do them. And my dedication is to give back to youth baseball and share whatever I can to help somebody else be better.